Mr. Epele. Thank you so much for those points, Mr. Epele. Now, there are some reports circulating that the picture of the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has been removed from government offices and even from the airport in Port Harcourt. Now, given that, and then these developments where we are seeing that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission now has a new honcho at its head, and of course the caretaker, or as they are being called, administrators for the local governments, where is there room for the return of the governor? Because it seems we're set, the stage is set and prepared for the inevitable end of the tenure of Governor Fubara. Are you seeing any situation or scenario in which he will return to his office?
Thank you for that brilliant question. Let me say this. Every leader, every president, anyone who is truly in responsible leadership position will say a thing and keep his word. And I'm not saying that the reverse is the case. However, what they are doing right now doesn't look to me like suspension, but removal. And I think they should be bold enough, courageous enough to say it, that they don't want the democratic systems and values that is attributed to Rivers State to continue. Let them say it in unmistakable terms. However, we are watching. There is a limit to what you can do, and I want to use this opportunity and platform to call on the international community. This is how ethnic cleansing starts. This is how genocide starts. The national security personnel, your security advisor, you need to watch it. Nura, you are someone that I respect and I've had interactions with you. This is when to tell the president the truth, about what is happening. This is not right. You told us you suspended the governor. Suspension does not mean removal. So in direct answer to your question, the trend of things, the way they are going, it looks like they had probably deceived us to say there's a suspension, and now they are tilting towards removal.
Mr. Pella, good to see you, but the joke is on you. If you thought that once Wike got the upper hand, he will not go for the jugulars, then that must be the height of delusion. And in the bid to try to exonerate the president is part of the plan. He executed it because Wike is his man, he's in his administration. And from day one, the president has always taken sides in all of this, in this level of illegality. Udeng Zeradiri, an Ijaw man, led one of the associations in Ijaw land, said that Governor Fubara should go and kneel and beg and say, Kabiesi. Anyway, that's my own addition to Wike. What do you say to Udeng Zeradiri? He said, should go and kneel and beg him.
Hussein, my good friend, sometimes I'm lost of words, but however, how much can a man stoop low? How much can a man humiliate himself? Humility is not stupidity. It is not humiliation. He has done that and had done enough of it. And I'm not saying there won't be any chance for peace. Must I come and worship you as God before you will forgive me? Has Yoson Wike not done things to Christ, which he professed to be a Christian?
Hang on a
Has
minute.
he not done things worse?
Sorry, sir. Can I ask you a question? You say, should I come and kneel or beg you before you forgive me? What has Fubara done wrong to Yoson Wike that you think it needs Wike's forgiveness? What has Fubara done wrong? Can anybody tell me?
Helping me. Thank you for.
Can anybody
thank you for helping me
offense
answer
of
the
Fubara
question.
in all of this?
Look, let me tell you, the truth is that Fubara took a lot of mess from all of them that I, J. Kepele, will not take. It was just too much for a man to bear. How long can you disgrace a man, including your cronies, including your brothers? How much can an individual call a sitting governor Mumu? And how many people have told that's local government chairman? How many people have told him to go and beg Siminalayi? He came out and did a charade apology. How many people have told him? One of the things that Yosan Wike have said against Fubara, how many people have told him to go and apologize? And I'm not saying there shouldn't be room for peace, okay? But must you wait for a man to come and kneel down and prostrate? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Let's face it. You know, nobody feeds anybody. Is he putting food on his plate? I think we've taken enough of this rubbish. And it's absolute rubbish. And we must stop. All the people concerned, I don't know what covenant that Wike have with the president, that the president cannot call him to order. That's the problem.
We have had television lawyers on this River State matter. We have had television elders. We have had television analysts, you know, all saying one thing or the other. But the situation in Rivers remains the same. And the sole administrator continues to, you know, act like truly the sole administrator, even appointing new sole administrators. What do you think is the way forward? We have heard all these things about Wike, about Fubara, about this and that. Meanwhile, the sole administrator is digging in, is appointing satellite sole administrators. What is the way forward? And the federal government has not changed its mind. There is a state of emergency. So this television business, television editors, television lawyers, television analysts, what is the way forward in your opinion?
I mean, I can glean from your questions, and if you can hear me, I can glean from your questions, and I'll ask you, and I'll answer you. You know, I'm tempted to call this gentleman soul animator, you know, because the whole thing looks very animated. The whole thing looks like a drama, you know. And he's a fine, well-trained military gentleman, you know, good-looking and smart. But why would you succumb to people using you and making you look like you don't know what you're doing? You know, why would people build their career and want to ruin their career at the expense of, you know, purported service? However, what's the way forward? Well, one, the National Assembly amended the president's position, the proclamation. They amended it. None of that amendment have been followed. Is the president not in disobedience of what the National Assembly did? That alone is a violation. We need to go back to what the National Assembly amended. Set up eminent elders to begin to look into these issues. People who are neutral, you know. Secondly, the administrator ought to report to National Assembly. Please tell me, you are journalist, you know, tell me one meeting apart from the concocted, Wike-sided group that went to meet with him. And none of those guys allowed anybody that was either neutral or supporting Siminalayi Fubara. None of them were in the equation, you know. So we need to go back. Let's even go back to what they stipulated and follow it to the letter. I think we might end up to get a lasting peace. But this strategic move to further destabilize the state and ask for extension of this emergency rule, you know, is unacceptable. And it will be very unbecoming of this administration if they succumb to the pressure of one man who is saying that the whole state will not sleep just because of his own inordinate ambition. You know, it's not right. And will not be accepted. So Ruben, I hope I did answer your question. The way forward is simply, let's negotiate. Way forward is simply, let's engage. Ultimate way forward is to restore the man that we all gave a mandate to lead us. And that is Sim Fubara. You know, the whole world is watching. The international community is watching. I go out of this country, I defend this country. I was the head of delegation to the conference last week in Germany. People are asking questions. And sometimes you have to, like an ostrich, bury your head in the sand and pretend that nothing is happening. We were busy promoting Nigeria in Berlin just a few days ago. It's shameful what is playing out.
In 2004, that time the husband was the governor. So she was going to Bori camp for women empowerment. I was to run for my second tenure as chairman of my local government. Maybe she should forget this. I want to remind her today. Now, they were having lunch with the husband and the former state party chairman then, Prince Uche Secondus. And I was told that my name has been removed in the list. So I ran down to government house. Then she had finished her own lunch and left the husband and was entering the vehicle. I said, Mommy, I'm finished. She said, what happened? I said, I removed my name. She ran back straight to the husband. So, what happened? The husband said, what is the problem? My son said, I removed your name. He said, who removed his name? At that time, Secondus had left. Then the husband called the security at the gate, stop Secondus to come back. And Secondus came back. That was how I went back as second-time chairman. For me, I can't talk about my growth without mentioning her. Well, if she was not around that day to see the governor, it was not that easy thing. It's not that easy thing. So, I've been around that particular day, saved my career in politics. You know, once you leave office, everyone's leaving you. And so that was how I grew from there to become what I am today.